everybody in the NFL circle, just the sports world in general, has heard about the Aaron Rodgers news. What most people believe to be an ankle injury was actually found out to be a torn ACL, right? No, I'm sorry. He tore his Achilles. That's even worse, because your ACL, you can recover from an ACL injury a little bit faster than Achilles. And Achilles, you can sit out from anywhere to a year and a half. So just hopefully Aaron Rodgers gets back on his feet, man. But yeah, so other than that, man, the Bengals lost to the Browns 3-24, 3-24, 3-24. I thought that was one of the most impressive wins of week one. Now, I know the Bengals for the last few years, well, pretty much since Joe Burrow has gotten there, they usually start off the season slow. They usually start off the first 4 or 5 games really slow, but then once they hit their stride, they win like 7-8 games in a row, man. So I don't want to put too much stock in it, but I feel like people are really undervaluing the Browns. They have Nick Chubb, who rushed for over 100 yards. He averaged about 6 yards per carry. That's insane, man. That's actually insane. I think the Browns are underrated. Now this is gonna sound crazy. I think the Browns could finish second in the AFC North. I just do. I think the Baltimore Ravens are they're gonna take a step back. I don't think they're gonna be as good. I think the Steelers will be better than last year, but they're gonna still be worse than the Bengals and the Browns. I think the Browns are gonna be second place with just the potential, depending on how Deshaun Watson continues to look and develop over the course of the season, because he's missed some time. But if he turns into the Deshaun Watson from the Texans, I think the Browns can actually be second or potentially first, like maybe a game ahead of the Bengals. I think they're probably the most balanced team in the division, outside the Bengals, even including the Bengals. I think the Browns are close in talent. They have Nick Chubb. They have a potential elite quarterback. Because remember, people were talking about Deshaun Watson being a top 5 quarterback. They have really good edge rushers with Garrett. They have a decent O-line. They have an okay secondary. They still have Denzel Ward. But where they lack is their middle linebackers. Their middle linebackers are trash. So like I said, they're not the most talented, but I think they can finish second. I can see them maybe going like 10-7 or like 9-8, and maybe sneaking into the playoffs, depending on how like the divisions wrap up and all types of stuff. So I think the Cleveland Cavaliers, we talk too much NBA on this channel. The Cleveland Browns, I honestly can see them finishing second. But yeah, comment below, who do you think is going to win the AFC North? And also, what's your favorite team? And what do you think your favorite team's record will be at the end of the season? Also, we have to talk about this. I know I mentioned it earlier about Aaron Rodgers with the Achilles injury. Aaron Rodgers told Garrett Wilson before, when he was like laying down, he was like, "Sorry, kid, man. That's a real Tony Stark Spider-Man moment, man." So hopefully he gets better, but the Jets season is done. I still think the defense is really good. Zach Wilson, he played okay underneath the circumstances, but you have to keep in mind, he was going up against a defense who wasn't prepared to go up against him. I think now that defenses are aware that Zach Wilson is going to be playing, I don't think Zach Wilson is going to play as well as he did in that Jets-Bills game, man. So unfortunately, I don't have the Jets making the playoffs, and it really, really, really sucks, because before Aaron went down, I was thinking that the Jets were one of the few teams in the AFC that could potentially upset the Chiefs and prevent the Chiefs from winning 3 championships in the last 5 years. So that's really sad to see, because other than the Jets, I would say the Bengals. I don't believe in the Bills. I don't see them beating the Chiefs. But I guess you can throw them in there now that the Jets are out. I would say those 3 teams have the best chance. The Cleveland Browns are probably not going to be able to beat the Chiefs, but I think they have a good game plan for that. I think they will have the potential to make things interesting in that matchup. If that was an AFC Championship matchup, they would probably just give the ball to Nick Chubb 40 times and try to keep Mahomes off the field as much as possible. But yeah, so, and I know you're watching Dallas Cowboys highlights. I couldn't find any other highlights, so you have to watch the Dallas Cowboys. I'm it's funny to troll her, but it's also funny. It's also funnier to troll Cowboys fans. But since they were so dominant, I guess there's nothing to troll. Their defense is elite. The thing that's always gonna stop Dallas, or what has stopped Dallas in years past, it's just their offense. Their offense is not consistent enough, and what it really boils down to is their quarterback. Their quarterback is a borderline top 10 quarterback. His play come postseason just hasn't been good enough. I don't see them. I do have them making the playoffs. But that's just because the NFC is trash. Outside of the 49ers, Eagles, and Dallas, there's nobody in the NFC I can really see contending for a Super Bowl, especially if the Kansas City Chiefs make it back. I just don't see it, man. Unless the season plays out and then some weird team just emerges out of nowhere. I just don't see it, man. So I don't think Dallas is going to be anything super for real because their offense is just inconsistent. CeeDee Lamb, as elite as he can be, he still has moments of inconsistency himself where he drops the easiest passes. Their O-line isn't as good as it used to be. Dak, like I said, he's borderline top 10, but once the postseason comes around, he loses games that he should win. The turnovers are an issue, but you gotta give Dallas credit, man. They outplayed the Giants. I think the Dallas will be, I'll say this, I think the Dallas Cowboys, if they face the Eagles in the playoffs, they can beat the Eagles. I don't think Dallas is getting past the 49ers if they match up against the 49ers again this year. So, with that being said, man, comment down below, who do you think is going to come out of the NFC East? My vote is the Cowboys, but once they get past the NFC East and they have to go up against other teams, once they get past the NFC East and get matched up against the 49ers or some elite team in the AFC in the Super Bowl, they're done. And hopefully they don't make the Super Bowl because we don't want to have to deal with these annoying Cowboys fans, man. But yeah, they played a really, really good game. With their secondary is, they have Stephon Gilmore, they got Trey Diggs on the other side, they got Michael Parsons, they got good D linemen, they got not Trevor Lawrence, they got T. Lawrence. They have so many weapons on that side of the ball, and so I expect them to make the playoffs. Now let's talk about Tyreek Hill, who I gave to Player of the Week, over 200 yards receiving. Imagine getting 200 receptions in a football game. He had over 200 yards. That's crazy. And Tua is quarterback. Tua is a very good quarterback. But it's crazy. It's really hard to see how good Tua is because he has so many weapons now. So, is it the weapons making him look like a borderline elite quarterback, or is he actually elite? Now, he's always been accurate. He was accurate last year. So I see the potential in the Dolphins because, like the Browns, they could sneak up on some people. But the difference